What is the biggest challenge facing the current generation of new missionaries coming out from Western countries? Yeah. I feel a little disconnected. I mean, I feel like I haven't been in the U.S. really consistently, for 12 years, maybe even more than that, 13, 14 years. So I don't know for sure, like, what it is, what the whole new generation is like. I did spend 2 years in the States recently, so I guess I had a little bit of time there. But I would say, I think anymore there's this idea that, not entitlement, but something like that. If I do all of this good training, if I do this and if I do that, then somehow I'm going to get around some of the suffering or whatever it is like that. There's a real generational thing, I think, where people think that they shouldn't go through hard times. And if I prepare well enough and if I plan well enough, I'm not going to have this problem. Coming into even church planning things, thinking, well, I've got all this training and I've strategized and this and that, so this or this or this isn't going to happen. And I believe we were a little bit that way coming in here, and God literally kept us on hold for 6 years before we actually started teaching, which is a really long time, but He had things to teach us. And so I would say a little bit, that idea of maybe trying to avoid suffering and thinking that we don't need to go through hard times. I also think now there's also a bit of a struggle. Sometimes people aren't willing to work and sacrifice. There's this idea that if it gets hard, then I'm just going to pull out. I have a way out of the, I have a way out. If it's too much work, if it's going to be a sacrifice, if it's going to mean something could happen to my kids or whatever, then I'm out. I'm out of that. And I'd really want to challenge people to, look into Scripture, because it does say, count the cost. So that means there is a cost. And that when we have to present ourselves as living sacrifices, you're going to have to sacrifice something, and being willing to do that. Another area I would see as well would be we are very addicted to like Facebook and communication and things like that. And that is good, and that is really bad sometimes. Instead of being able to get into the culture you're in and really, what's the word? That true incarnational ministry type thing, what happens is then we have a way to escape and go back to our country, even if it's on our phone or our iPad or whatever. And I like it because it gives a way for people back home to see what we're going through. But boy, sometimes it can really misrepresent things. And it can be as much of a hindrance from keeping us from actually going through the things that we need to go through to get, for the Lord to teach us certain things, especially culture shock and things like that. If you constantly have like a way out to get out, I'll just write this person and they'll just affirm me and tell me I'm a wonderful person because I'm, over there sacrificing and this and that, and it can be. So I think today's people coming out are a little bit more addicted to that stuff, and it is a little bit of a danger, as good, but also a danger.